Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 217. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for Rated G, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. For as little as $1 a month, you can help support Rated G. Everything that you give goes back into the show so we can make this bigger and better and provide more content to you, the fans. Also, you can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rutino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
Well, it is a beautiful day today on this lovely Sunday. It is 70 degrees outside right now, Dan.
Is it? It didn't feel like 70 degrees when I went out on my back porch for a second.
Oh, it got up there. I mean, it may be like 68 right now, but that's like going out in a t-shirt weather. That's shorts and a t-shirt and some sneakers. Oh.
It definitely feels good. I didn't know it was going to be 70 degrees. Oh man, makes me wish I was going outside.
Like actually, going out and not having to deal with the zombies. Yep. I feel you. And I think the urge is going to get worse and worse. Like when it hits 75, 80, and it's sunny all day, and you want to go outside, but you can't because you got to be responsible. It's crazy. So. I don't know. I did go out and I ran around a little bit. That was my exercise for the weekend. So that's about what I did. How about you?
So I go out. I go for a jog. I go for a walk. Mm-hmm. I take long walks. And that's about it, and I come back. I don't really do anything.
There you go. It's about all you can do. You go to the grocery store. That's your Saturday night out.
So, I did get a chance to see the Sonic movie, finally.
Hey, wow. 2 months late, but that's okay.
I finally got to see it, yeah. Well, look, when it first came out, it was like $20 to rent. Okay, all these movies that came out digitally, right? Yeah. That didn't go out to the theaters. It was like, if you want to rent it, it'd be $20. And I was like, no, not doing that. I'll wait till I can buy it.
$20. Wow. I guess they wanted to recoup their like new release box office ticket sales, right? Because all the theaters are closed basically across the country. So what are you gonna do? Wow, that's crazy.
But I did get a chance to finally see it. I bought it for $20.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was actually.
Oh, that's the review. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Wow, Dan. Woof. Really? So you enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it. I didn't.
To say?
I don't know. It'll be a cult classic. Only time will tell. But I thought it was okay. I mean, look, I don't know if I like.
You're already like on the cult classic tip. I see.
Well, listen, when Mario Brothers came out in theaters back in like 91, right? 92?
93, I think. 92, 93.
Who thought that would be sort of like a cult classic in itself, or a Street Fighter movie that came out in 94, 95?
They are, well, the Street Fighter movie is a goddamn classic. Should have won an Academy Award. But Yeah, they're like so bad it's good, right? They're like cheesy, fun movies, right? I know a lot of fans were crestfallen when they're like, yeah, Mario Brothers, and they see what's up on screen, and it is nothing like the Super Mario Brothers video game, right?
Nothing at all.
Which, like, how do you make a movie like that, right? You try to make a realistic Mario Brothers, and you end up with this. That's what happens. It's tough. Very tough.
Yeah, I finally got to see it. I thought it was good. You know, again, because I had low expectations going in. Definitely the new design, the redesigned Sonic fits the world a lot better, or maybe that's just my nostalgia.
I told you, Dan. Yes, it doesn't look weird. The other Sonic look weird. Even if there wasn't like, if this was a brand new property and they're like, hey, here's our CG mascot for the movie, it still look a little weird. He wasn't great. Like, it didn't have like the good cartoon proportions. It was just, I don't know, it was weird.
I'm just saying, seeing a CG hedgehog with the small town sheriff, yeah, that was weird in itself.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, Cyclops.
No matter what, it was still weird.
Seeing him with Cyclops.
See. Oh yeah, that's right.
James Marsden was Cyclops among other roles. Cyclops. In the like original trilogy, yeah.
And just speaking of movie, they also said that we talked about this in the show that like next year was going to be historic, right? Next May was going to be historic because we're going to have John Wick 4 released the same day as Matrix 4, right?
Because they came out from different studios, yeah. So
different studios, but it was the same protagonist, the same star,
right?
Same actor, both movies being released. So no matter which one you see, he's winning. He's gonna win.
Yeah, right. It's kind of a win-win, I guess. Although he is competing with himself, so like one movie's gonna potentially suffer. Right. Listen, I don't know if everyone's gonna go see both.
You gotta, even if you see both movies, okay, you gotta like at least one. Both can't suck, right? It's Matrix 4,
right,
and John Wick 4, but. The quarantine happened while he was shooting, I think, towards the end of Matrix 4. Didn't even know Matrix 4 was in production yet, but apparently they were almost done.
No. Yeah.
And we got no leaks, right? I didn't hear any leaks. I didn't see any leaks. But because that stopped, he was supposed to be shooting John Wick 4 right now.
Right.
And he can't. So he has no idea when he's going to shoot John Wick because he needs to finish the Matrix 4. So they pushed John Wick back until 2022.
Oh, my God. That's crazy.
So we get to miss out until the next time someone else wants to put up both their movies against head to head, right? Some big star.
Yeah. When the Rock's in Rampage 2 and Fast and the Furious 12, put them up head to head.
No. You know what it'll be? It'll be The Rock, and he'll be the villain in a DC movie and a hero in a Marvel movie, and they'll go head to head.
Right.
And they'll go head to head.
Right. He's Black Adam, and I don't know.
Well, he wanted to be Lobo
or whatever.
He wanted to be Lobo.
I could see him as I could definitely see him as Lobo.
But Batista wants to be Lobo too. Maybe it's Batista. It'd be Guardians of the Galaxy 5 against Lobo, right?
Oh my God.
I don't know. That's even if we have movie theaters in the future. Who knows? Because right now,
yeah, it's true.
People are going crazy. Like it's a Universal versus AMC. They're going crazy because Universal put out, I think it was Trolls digitally, and they made like $100 million on that or something, some crazy amount of money.
That's
and they're like, yeah, we'll see. We'll put some movies out digitally and some movies out, in the movie theaters. And AMC is like, well, then we don't want any of your movies.
Wow, they're taking a hardline stance. Like AMC's like, nah, it's all or nothing. Come on, let's go. Which
is ridiculous. I mean, it's the future, right?
TVs
are getting even better. TVs are getting better. We're going to have 20K or whatever the next feature is in the future with TVs, holo TVs, hologram TVs. I mean, we're still waiting for the self-lacing shoes and the hollow board, right, from Back to the Future.
Oh, the hoverboard. Yeah, right.
So who knows what TVs will be? The experience will be even better, and you don't have to sit with people and make your own popcorn for less than $10.
I mean, sure. I mean, I enjoy the movie-going experience, right? Like, the screen is still infinitely bigger than your home TV. You can have a 105-inch It'd be beautiful, super crisp, all that surround sound system and all that. It's great. You know, I would think twice before seeing a movie I'm not like crazy about, but the theater is an experience, and I like having people around, and like now they like started doing this luxury experience, right? Kind of make it like a night out.
Well, they would have to make that the norm for, you know, like if movies are going to be put out, like if I can see Endgame at home and not have to like sit in the front row because it's sold out everywhere. I mean, you have to entice me.
That's kind of nice, yeah.
You have to entice me to go to the theater where it's like, oh, you know, you can order dinner and drinks and we'll bring it to you. That's
what the Alamo Drafthouse does. It's beautiful, right? They have a strict no talking, no cell phone policy. They will literally kick you out if you break those rules. So there's that as a baseline, and then they have servers that come around. You can order food and all that. Like it's a really good experience. Like you can get drunk and watch the Avengers and in these nice reclining seats. But that's not everywhere, right? That's only in some theaters. Like there's.
Well, we talked about the all digital future in games coming. I think all digital feature in movies are coming as far as movie theaters.
Right.
Again,
right. Like, you know, like people are starting. Yeah.
Well, I said physical is not going to go anywhere as far as I think digital will be widespread, but I think physical will be like the special edition, right?
Right.
And there'll be like a disk drive peripheral that you can you buy as an option on the side, right? They'll hook up through USB or USB-C, right?
Yeah. I mean, there is definitely a market for it, like Limited Run. Limited Run has proved that. I Am 8-Bit, Special Reserve, all those companies have proved that people still want physical. There's a small percentage of fans who are like, yeah, still want the physical. And I think you're right. I think like companies like that will take up that mantle and make physical versions in like a limited quantity. You can get them if you want to get them. All right.
Well, I think that'll be the same way with movie theaters, where it's like, oh, you want to go see the movies? It'll be like, all right, this is a special movie. You got to go to this special movie theater where they serve you liquor and dinner. So, you know, we get to eat dinner and drink and watch.
Right? You're not just going to see the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think you're spending more than $20 for a movie ticket.
Well, exactly. You're having a night out, I guess, right? It's something a little special. And I think you're right too. I think a lot of companies are realizing that, hey, we don't need to have. We can kind of do this over the wire. We can do this digitally. You know, businesses they can conduct business remotely and still be profitable. You know, still be performant. Movie theaters, right? Movie theaters are starting to realize that, like, oh, they can just release it digitally, and millions of people will see it
and make more money in some cases.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How much money do you think Trolls was going to make in the movie theater?
I didn't think it was going to do 100 million.
It did some crazy number. Maybe it's not 100 million, but I know it's some crazy number.
Yeah,
Trolls did really well.
The sequel to the original Trolls. Yeah, that's crazy.
So, let's switch gears. We're talking about movies. It's not the movie podcast.
It is not the movie podcast.
Let's talk about podcasts. Let's talk about gaming podcasts. Looks like our friend Reggie, formerly Nintendo president, is actually starting his own gaming podcast.
Is he? Now that
should be on the Rated G for Gamers Network.
Reggie,
you gotta talk to him. You know what? Call Reggie. Call him after the show and talk.
All right. I got his number. I got a direct line to Reg. Yeah, I'll see what's up. But
it looks like Geoff Keighley is gonna be like his first guest.
Ah, very nice. Yeah, I think this is going to be like a limited series. From like looking at this article, it looks like they're going to do like 7 episodes, I think, with like kind of high profile people. You know, Keighley's king, right? You know, he's definitely a good get.
He's all over the place. I mean, you got the guy who has the Game Awards. Oops, almost said the Video Game Award.
The Game Awards now, yeah.
What if, as a side note, what if like Spike TV said, you know what, Keighley, screw you. We own the name VGA, right? We're gonna make our own Game Awards to rival you.
Yeah, well,
we're gonna bring back the Video Game Awards.
That's why he broke off from Spike and all that. It got like ridiculous.
I know, but what if they said that they're going to do that? Then we're going to have 2 Game Award shows.
That's perfectly fine. We have the Golden Globes and like all the other award shows. I don't think it's going to do well, but they're out there.
Well, yeah, but they know, but all the other shows know the hierarchy, right? Like everybody knows an Oscar is like the top of the top.
Well, there you go.
Where,
a Game Award would be the top, and the Video Game Award would be secondary.
Where, like a SAG Award is good and it's great. It's an honor, but there's no Oscar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? All right, Dave, as we always try to start the show but epically fail, what have you been playing?
Oh, well, last week I told you that I got Final Fantasy. So, I'm playing No. I've been playing Final Fantasy VII, and it is glorious. It's good. It's good. Although, I will have to say, I do have some issues with the game. All right? I'm going to say...
Before you say your issues.
Uh-huh.
No surprise.
Uh-huh.
But surprise.
Uh-huh.
I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake as well. But here's the real surprise. It's the first Final Fantasy game I've ever beaten. I just beat it. I beat it yesterday. 26 hours of my life I can't get back.
Dan. So happy for you. What'd you think? It was good?
It was great. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I didn't know when I first started, when I played the demo, and it was like you can't jump. I didn't know how that would work. Yeah. Right? Like it's a game. Like what game can you not jump in?
Mm-hmm. Well,
you can move around. But you can't jump.
any Zelda game except for the last one.
Yeah,
to be fair. That's true. But yeah, it is like a little bit weird, right? You think like, oh, I can kind of get up to this thing and whatever else. But it wasn't really about that.
Well, what were your issues? Because my issues were more rooted sort of in reality. Like, all right, I'm playing a game. Obviously, fantasy games, fantasy. It's fantasy. It's not real, but you got to have an element of reality, right? So,
well, it's got to make sense, right? Like their ambitions and their actions and the whatever, it needs to fit, right?
If the building is on fire and coming down, or if there's security and police looking for you, you would have a sense of urgency and you would be running, right? Mm-hmm. You wouldn't necessarily be walking, or you would be hiding and talking, not just standing around chilling and talking.
Sure.
So those were my issues with the game, where I'm like, come on, let's go. Why are you walking? Run. Oh, why are we just standing around?
Well, yeah.
Those were my issues.
Right. So that all comes from its RPG roots, right? Because it wasn't an action game. It was a long, it was a little bit active, but it was like turn-based battle, kind of. You'd have to wait for your little meter to go up, and then you could do an attack. And, battles were definitely a lot slower than how they were now, and you kind of plan things out. And then outside of battle, it was very kind of slow, and there were random battles, so... all of that kind of comes from that old school JRPG style, right? It's kind of baggage they're carrying over, because here's these plot points and this dialogue and story elements. We got to get it out. It's like, well, we got to do it now, right? You have to explain all the stuff, and then you can start running, which is annoying. I get it, but like a lot of that stuff was in the beginning too, right? In the OG one. The thing that
I'm okay, but listen, I'm okay with the exaggerated voice acting because it's a game, right?
Well, that's my issue. Like that's the thing that I'm not like crazy about.
It was evident from the beginning, even the demo, that they were going for something like over the top, right? So
yeah,
I got lost in that. Like I accepted that. Well, in my brain, I accepted that.
To kind of bring it into your point about the realism, right? I guess that's the way I can explain it. Like the way the characters act, either it's a little too much, it's a little like Cloud, you can say, well, Cloud is all kind of reserved and quiet and mysterious, and he doesn't care about anybody, and he just wants the money. And it's like, sure, but it's very flat right? It's very kind of one-notey, and Barrett's the same way, I think. And it feels a little unnatural. It doesn't feel real, I guess, in that case. Like, I know it is a game and it's supposed to be like this kind of like hyped up weird fantasy future world, but I don't know. And it's, trust me, the original had bad translation too. So
yeah, but the story is ridiculous.
I know.
Yes,
the story is very ridiculous.
The story's not over. You know, we're only halfway through this one, and you know, the remake part 2 and 3 will explain everything. I'm here to tell you, I don't care what the answers are to the questions. The story is just bananas. It's just out of this world. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry.
Oh, it trust me. And they added a bunch of new stuff, and they like changed some of the reveals around, and they moved some stuff around. But the questions you have, the backstories, what's going on with everything, like they explain. They explain about the Mako and the Earth and Gaia and all that. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff.
They go crazy with the Whispers of Destiny, like what Whispers of Fate, and you can't escape your destiny. I was like, oh god, we're going this route. I didn't.
Well, that's what you get with it. That's what you get with the JRPG.
The story is just bananas.
Yeah. So it's still great. I mean, I think we're both like pretty high on it. But if I'm gonna make some comments about it, I would say that. Also, there are some bum ass textures in that game. There are some weird like you go up to like the door on Cloud's apartment. It legit looks unfinished. Yeah, I turned the thing. I'm like, did it just not load in yet? I'm like, no, there's like a very low poly texture on there. Like it's it's not good.
I will say, I had some technical issues where. I'm trying to crawl into a small place. I'm trying to be vague because I don't want to give spoilers, even though this is storyline wise, you already know what's going to happen.
Well, yeah.
I'm trying to crawl into the small space, right? And I'm crawling, but I'm not in the small space. I'm like, it looks like I'm floating in the air.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, okay. I found a technical issue.
Yeah.
Or were you trying to climb a ladder and my head is in the other character's butt because the other character got on the ladder first? Yeah. I found
had that
issues.
in the first one
Same
too,
in the demo.
Yeah. I had that in the first one. Yeah. You know what was kind of weird for me? You could maybe technically not call it a bug, but I'm in like chapter 7 or 8 when you have to like infiltrate sector 5, right? And there's all those platforms you can kind of move around, right? The little like temporary bridges. And you basically move into one spot or move into another spot. There's like 2 spots that are the only kind of useful. But if you go into the map, it only shows it in the starting position. It doesn't show that you moved it. Right, so I was looking at the map and I'm like, wait, why can't I like cross that? And I'm like, oh wait, no, there's a bridge there. I moved the bridge over, but it doesn't update the map, which is like weird. So I don't know if that's necessarily a bug, but it threw me for a loop.
There's a part where you're in the HQ headquarters. You're in HQ, and you drop down from somewhere. I'm not gonna say where.
Yeah.
And you're trying to find your way to go back up so you can go around. And that was the only time where I legit for like 15 minutes. It was like, I have no idea where to go and what to do.
Yeah. It was a little confusing the first time around too. So it's
and then finally I figured it out. I was just like, oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see because you can't jump. If you want to move on something, like there's an arrow, like a blue arrow that shows you this is where you need to go. The blue arrow it wasn't in plain sight like here. Like I had to walk really next to it to where I needed to go. And I was like, I would have never thought to go here. Like, why would I think to come here? Like, there should have been at least an indicator that said this is where you need to go. Like, I don't know. I was legit lost for 15 minutes. I was like frustrated. I was like, I'm almost at the end of the game. I have no idea where I need to go. I'm trapped here. How the hell do I get out?
Oh, shit.
But with all that said, I want to say I love this game.
Yeah. It's so good.
It is higher on my list. It may be right now, and we'll talk about this in June when we get to our half year game of the year talks. Yeah. This may be the best game so far this year.
Oh shoot!
All who thought? Who thought? Is the devil like on ice skates? Did hell freeze over? Dan Robinson, like a Final Fantasy game.
Oh, all right. Capture that quote, folks. There we go. It's going to be on the ad bumper for every Rated G promo.
I mean,
I love it. I love it.
To be fair, this was the only Final Fantasy game I ever played for a long time. Final Fantasy VII, and then Final Fantasy 15 was the first Final Fantasy game I ever bought.
Yep.
And now this is the first Final Fantasy game I've ever beaten. So nice. It's a historic moment. It's a historic. You know what? Keanu is not here to make history, but I am.
Nice.
So
yeah, no, good stuff.
All right, so why don't we take a break? When we come back, we're getting to the top gaming news of last week.
Hey, this is Matt Adler, freelance journalist for IGN, and you're listening to Rated G for Gamers podcast.
And we're back. All right, let's get into the top gaming news of last week. We have to start with next gen and Xbox. We've seen the Xbox Series X. We've heard a little bit about it. We don't know exactly the new features that'll be in next gen, but we haven't seen actual gameplay.
It's true.
But that's gonna change. As of this, when you hear this, it will change this week. May 7th, they're going to have an Inside Xbox that will actually show gameplay from next-gen games, but not first-party games. It's only third-party games.
Yeah, I was going to say, the only thing we got was like a little bit of the next Hellblade game and a little bit of the Halo 6 Infinite, but it was really cutscenes, whether they're in-game or not, we don't know, I would assume, but yeah, this should be good. Now, the last piece of the puzzle.
I thought it'd be interesting or cool if we could speculate what third-party game, or maybe what a third-party studio would show something. Right.
So, I mean, this is a very good question. You have to look at the history of the last 3 Xbox consoles, right? The original Xbox, the 360, and the Xbox One. Right. There are games that. There are game genres that typically appear on your console at launch, right? Action beat 'em up games. Some may say fighting games. There has been Soul Calibur. There has been Mortal Kombat. There has been Tekken at launches for various consoles, and the game franchise that Microsoft loves and Tecmo, they have a very symbiotic relationship. So I have a strong feeling that they'll have a new Dead or Alive game on display. Yeah, I think that's a fair guess, right?
You think they're gonna have Dead or Alive? Was it 7 at this point?
It would be Dead or Alive 7. Yeah, right. 6 came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, I have 6 on. Actually, I have 6 on PlayStation 4 and PS4.
Yeah. I mean, there was like a time where they were almost exclusively coming out on Xbox, right? 3 was a launch title for the original Xbox. I don't know if 4 was cross-platform. The remake of the second one, I think, or the first one maybe. They did a remake that was also on the original Xbox, like a kind of deluxe ultimate version, which was kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, I think it's about time. I don't really know what else Tecmo is doing. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna say we're gonna see Tom Brady in a Tampa Bay uniform on the Xbox Series X because we're gonna get Madden. We're gonna get a trailer for the new Madden.
Oh my God! You just ask the pitcher to softball it over the plate for you so you could knock it out of the park?
Come on, pitch hitting.
Madden. Madden.
Come
the
on,
game
I'm hitting
that
the free
appears,
throw. I'm hitting the free throw.
The game that appears on every single console launch. Madden. It appeared on the GameCube console launch. Come on now. Appeared on a Nintendo console launch. You're gonna go ahead and give me Madden? No, you gotta do
pick another one. You
gotta do better. You gotta do better.
I'm picking another one. You ready?
Okay.
You ready?
Okay.
You ready? All right. So that was EA, right?
Yep,
That was Madden.
Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna see 2K. NBA 2K. We're gonna see a trailer for NBA 2K 2021.
So the best you can give me is a annual sports franchise from arguably one of the biggest publishers in gaming today. Okay.
Come on, man. Okay. We're gonna get a trailer. I mean, I'm
gonna need you to dig deep and go into the well one more time.
We're gonna see the boogers in LeBron James's nose on the Xbox Series X.
Right.
Okay.
You're gonna see the acne and like the sweat coming down the face.
We're gonna see Tom Brady. We're gonna see Tom Brady goggle some Gatorade and spit it out into the field.
Yeah, right.
Okay? That's what we're
so real. It feels like you're on the sidelines.
There it is. All right. If you want me to go out of this world,
I want you. No. I want an actual pick that has some thought behind it. Not this. The next PlayStation is going to be called the PS5.
Well, I had to think about that for a while.
Did you? Okay.
Okay. I had to think about that. Hashtag, right. I was right.
Yeah. Again, softball over the plate.
All right, I was right. There were rumors that they were talking about PlayStation Panther.
That was the code name. That was
no, it wasn't the code name. The Panther wasn't the code name. I forgot what the code name was for.
Yeah, it was Panther.
But they said that there were rumors that they were going to name it something else. Not a numbered system. They wanted to do something different.
No.
And we know they did something different with the controller. It wasn't
Yeah.
So I'm going to go out. This is more of a wishful thinking pick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go what I want to see. Okay.
Oh, well, all right.
I want to see from Capcom something that's been dormant since the Dreamcast. I want to see Plasma Swords 2.
Oh my God.
Okay, it was a fighting game where every character it was a great fighting game on a Dreamcast where everybody had sort of type of a plasma weapon.
Yep.
Okay. Well, some type of plasma sword of some kind.
Yeah. No, I remember that game.
I thought that game was fantastic. I thought the game was fantastic. I thought the controller sucked.
It was definitely fun. Well, yeah, the Dreamcast controller not great. Well, that's a whole other ball of wax. I don't think it's gonna happen. I hope it does because it'd be nice to see some new Capcom fighters.
It's funny we both picked we both picked two fighting games.
That's true. We did. Fighting games not the most common on a launch, but we do have some precedent. It has been a while. For both these games, honestly. Plasma Sword. Christ, it's probably been like 22 years now before after that game came out. I haven't heard anything about it, so.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why we're probably both wrong. You ready?
What's that?
This is why we're probably both wrong, because at launch we know Halo Infinite, right? It's probably we speculate it's probably gonna be a Forza game.
That's I mean, if you're talking about like first party, sure.
Yeah, well, first, yes. I'm just from a first-party standpoint, we're going to get Halo, probably a Forza game.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone keeps forgetting Xbox owns Killer Instinct. And we haven't seen a Killer Instinct. There's been an update to that original Killer Instinct game in a couple of years.
There you go.
So, So someone talks about fighting games at launch, they probably will have a first-person shooter in Halo, racing game in Forza, and a fighting game in Killer Instinct. So they cover all bases. They have something that everyone will probably want to play.
Yeah. Well,
right? Here's maybe a third party fighting game will be ill advised at launch at least.
Right. So one thing that we do know about all of this is that nothing is going to be exclusive to the platform. Either it's going to be backwards compatible or cross-play on the PC, right? I think
no. Everything will be anything that you buy at launch on the Xbox Series X will be playable on the Xbox One.
Right. So that means Halo Infinite is going to be playable on the OG.
Think of Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Switch and Wii U.
Right. And as much as I love the hey, let's go ahead and support backwards compatibility, that hinders what you can do with the console. All right, that hinders what you can do with your game property, right? Because you're always like, well, we have to build for the lowest common denominator, right? So we have to kind of like make sure that this version runs properly and looks good enough, and has everything that the Xbox Series X version has, right? And I know the Series X is going to enhance. It's going to have the 4K textures and possibly some ray tracing in there, and it's definitely going to look fancier. But I want to see what like a dedicated Xbox Series X game looks like. Do you think any of that's going to come about in this presentation?
I mean, listen, just because it's not backwards compatible doesn't mean you won't see their full, their best foot forward on this system, right? When they actually show the Xbox Series, when they actually show Halo, right? Who knows? I mean, obviously there were rumors about there being 2 events, and I think this is the first event, third parties, and then they're inside Xbox maybe early June, where there'll be their whole E3 presentation on it. There'll be their whole E3 presentation, right?
Sure,
there'll be here's everything you've already known, and here's some new stuff,
right? But I mean, there has to be something that's like, and it obviously it won't be for launch, but there has to be some like future stuff, right? Some stuff that's going to be Series X exclusive.
Yeah. Senua's Sacrifice too.
Senua's Sacrifice. We would assume that, Senua's Sacrifice too. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not coming out at launch. They did preface to say launch games. I mean, and think about it. Back in, it just makes sense because Microsoft, at least from a Microsoft standpoint, they said that they want to get away from the generations, right? They want to bridge generations.
Yeah, that was really.
Let's see how long that lasts, right?
Right.
Let's see in the year 2030. Let's see in the year 2030, you can still play a game from 2030 on your Xbox Series X.
Let's see in the year 2021. I think it's gonna go by the wayside pretty quick.
But
there is one company and one flagship franchise I think we're forgetting. No,
we're not forgetting. I was gonna say, I think it's all but a guarantee that we're gonna see Ubisoft on that presentation.
Yep. So
and we're gonna see Assassin's Creed Valhalla, a game they already announced.
Yep. Yeah, they had a nice little teaser trailer. It looks beautiful. It's Nordic Viking themed, right? Up in kind of that Northern Europe area. I'm assuming like 6, 7, 8, 900 AD maybe around that time, like the Dark Ages. Everyone's wearing like these big fur coats and have big beards and giant axes. Like it felt like the last God of War game a little bit, right? A little bit.
Well, yeah. I mean, I thought this was a crossover.
Right.
When I first saw this, I was like, crossover. There's a GIF on online. There's a meme online. They have the main assassin, the Viking assassin. He says, "Odin is with us," and then they have a thing of Kratos saying, "Not for long."
That's funny. So, are you like you like hype for this at all?
Not. I mean, I want to be hype, but I'm not hype, and I'll tell you why.
Well, you liked Origins, right?
I liked Origins. I thought Origins was fantastic, and I love the set piece.
Yeah.
And yes, I get it. It's the set piece right now. We're dealing with Vikings. But really, a Viking assassin, right? Like when I saw this,
right?
If you didn't tell me this was an Assassin's Creed game, I would have think this is a brand new franchise that looks amazing. That I want to get to know.
Yeah.
The everything looks like it's going to be different, right? And something totally different than Assassin's Creed. I mean, look, Assassin's Creed really is Prince of Persia, right? That's how it started. Is a Prince of Persia game.
Yeah, you were kind of jumping around.
Thing. So why can't they do the same thing with this, where this started out as an Assassin's Creed game, but thinking about a Viking assassin, right? Kind of stretching it a little bit.
Yeah, because they're really kind of all about the bloodlust, right? They smear some blood on their face, they run into battle, they're screaming, they're real vicious. Not really the silent, sneaky type. Yeah,
like a stealth game.
I mean, I know it's it's Ubisoft.
It's a video game.
Well, it's that too, but I mean, like, it's Ubisoft. They're definitely going to do it right. They're going to make it work somehow. It's going to be tough though, because it's.
I mean, and then look at the last two games. The last two games, they really pushed the educational part, right, where they wanted to get everything historically accurate.
That's right. And there was even like classroom modes where you could kind of go around and like experience ancient Egypt and kind of ancient Greece. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and this game I think is gonna. I mean, it looks different, obviously, because it's next gen. And I think it's going to feel really different mechanically as well, because they had 15 different studios working this game.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah. So they had a lot of, this game has been passed around a lot. But I just wish they would have made this a different type of, a new franchise. Come out with a new franchise. Just call it Valhalla.
And there you go. I mean, it certainly could have been. It certainly could have been.
Right. Make it an Assassin's Creed spinoff.
Yeah. Right.
So. But I'm excited. I'm going to buy it and check it out on next gen. But Sony, at some point, is going to have their event. We think, and they were speculating they're going to have the event in May. But, there were some issues with the marketing message, the messaging they want to do in their marketing campaign, and maybe it'll get pushed, maybe it won't get pushed. But you know what got pushed? The Last of Us Part 2. You know what else got pushed? The Ghost of Tsushima. You know why?
Oh, boy.
Because now we have release dates. And that's because The Last of Us Part 2 is coming out in June, so they pushed Ghost of Tsushima to July.
Yeah, you can't have direct competition. Those are two of their four like big tentpole games, right? It was
those are the last of the 2-4.
Yeah. The last of The Last of Us.
Yeah, we had God of War, we had Spider-Man, now we're waiting for The Last of Us.
No, I thought was it oh, that's right. God of War was the fourth one, yeah.
But the reasoning people are skeptical about this release date, because The Last of Us Part 2 was delayed indefinitely, but the plot, the story plot, was leaked recently. Like everything, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to debate whether you like it or not, the actual plot of the story, because that gets into when people get the game in their hands and they get to play it and they get to go through the story from, and get to feel it from each beat in the game. And then you can tell me if you like it or not. But people are really pissed and really sour that the ending was spoiled.
Yeah, so, I mean, what sucks, especially for fans of the franchise. I haven't played the first one at all, or even the remake, so I don't really know. But I would definitely be heated too, right? Everyone's been waiting a while for this. It's supposed to be a big AAA title game, and yeah. Apparently, it came from a disgruntled employee.
That was actually discredited. It did not. Well, as far as we know, officially, it did not come from a disgruntled employee. That was actually a rumor said on Reddit, and they traced it back to someone who said he actually did lie about it. That he posted that just because he thought it was a disgruntled employee.
Well, it was someone who worked on the game, right? It was.
We don't know. I think Jason Schreier even said that he's hearing, he thought it could have either been a freelance developer or they could have just been hacked by hack. We don't know. Sony did say that they found the leak and the person didn't work for Sony and didn't work for Naughty Dog.
Right.
So
right.
That's what we know for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if they were hacked, they would have kind of put that message out. Maybe
not if you're taking big legal action. You probably want to keep that hush until courts open up and you're able to.
I guess not. We don't necessarily know. I know there's been some rumblings about the crunch during the development of The Last of Us 2, and that's like pretty well known now. And there's a high turnover rate for people working there, right? They have a lot of freelancers. They have a lot of internal staff working on this game. They hired
freelancers because of the crunch. So they hired external devs to help out the internal devs. That was the whole point. I think if there was an issue, this did come from sort of like a external dev, right? Somebody who's a freelancer, that person will never work in this town again, right? Like that saying goes.
No, but I mean, it seems like for someone to want to do that, they have to have a chip on their shoulder, right? It has
unless they're
to
a hacker. then they don't care. They just don't.
Well,
care.
if yeah, I mean, the hacking thing is just kind of, well, I was just gonna do it for fun, right? And that's basically the extent of that. It's just because I can is typically a typical thing you hear from like hackers. Like, well, I just wanted to see if I could do it, and I did, and there's no harm in it, right? I just put out the story to one of the biggest games of all time. Like that's effed up. And even if it is a former dev, like that's also kind of shitty. Like if there's bad working environments, there's a better way to get that story out than to just like release the whole plot online and go, look, here it is. Here's the game. I ruined it for you. Like, well, it sucks either way.
It sucks for the fans, but it also sucks for that person because they're.
Oh, he's done. Yeah, he is.
He or she made a big mistake.
Or he or
especially
she. Yeah,
if they found him, or you're going to be in court, and then we're going to know exactly who did it and why.
They're going to have a big scarlet letter on your chest whenever you try and go for a job. It's like, well, why am I going to hire you? Because didn't you just destroy this company's like big AAA title, like the game they're working on?
It's the same thing with that. It's the same thing with that outlet. I think that was a European news outlet.
Eurogamer, maybe?
No. It was a European. No, it was a small European news outlet that leaked Pokemon game, Pokemon game, and it turned out to be a freelancer that they asked to review the game. That freelancer, good luck finding a new job. So they're probably going to try to get blackballed because people sign NDAs, right? And you work for them, and now this outlet will never get another Nintendo game to review ahead of time.
Well, both those guys probably thought they weren't going to get caught. And, geez, I forget all the details, but the way they found the guy from the way they found that Italian freelancer was bananas. Yeah.
All right. Let's switch gears. Again, we talked about, I said, Inside Xbox. In June is going to be the full reveal, the E3. That will be their E3 presentation. We don't know what Sony's going to do, but we all assumed that Nintendo would be launching a Direct in June, but apparently that's not the case.
Right. It'd be
looks like insiders are saying that the Nintendo Direct that was supposed to be in June, supposed to be their sort of E3 presentation, has been delayed. We don't know when. Hopefully we'll get it. Hopefully this is wrong and it's not delayed and it's on track.
Right.
But maybe it's delayed. It's not in June. And one of the reasons that they're saying it's being delayed is because people aren't really doing so well working remotely, right?
Yeah, it's very common in Japan. I mean, it's working from home is almost like it's highly
shunned upon, right?
They really don't have that as a thing. They want you in the office to be around everybody. It's part of their culture. I mean, there's like people that, there's people that pull 16-hour days, sleep in a nap pod close to work, and then come right back into work, right? Like they are workaholics. It's crazy. So it's very different than it is here. Like working remotely is a common thing. Even before the zombie apocalypse, right? People were working remotely, and especially if you're in like tech and whatever else, like the infrastructure's there. That's not the issue. But I think that could be part of it. And I think you're right. We need to hear something because I don't know what's coming out in September or October or December, right? I don't know what they have for the holiday season. Nobody knows.
Yeah, that's weird that we don't know what Nintendo's going to do.
Right. Right.
But do they really need an E3 style Direct, right?
They just need a Direct. Doesn't need to be, turned to 11.
They could just put it out on Twitter. I mean, look, Deadly Premonition 2 was announced for the Switch, right? Release date on Twitter. Yeah. That could have been part of the Direct.
Right.
Again, as part of this rumor is that they told all the third-party developers that they could do their own thing, announce this Switch version of the game however they want, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden we get Deadly Premonition 2 is coming out, right? We got a release date for it,
right?
So, do we really need a Direct from Nintendo? Can they not just get hyped by Twitter? If they said on Twitter tomorrow, Metroid Prime Trilogy is coming out this
mean,
fall.
sure,
People
but,
would still be hyped. It was still trending on Twitter.
It doesn't require, because they're still going to put a video. Here's a link to the video. Here's the trailer for it. Like, it's not hard to get someone in front of a green screen and go and like point at the the pictures, because that's what they usually do, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just need whoever they're going to like trot out to, have the little switch in his hand and shake it around and do all the cute little things they do, and then go Metroid Prime, and I'll be good. That's all I need to hear. Metroid Prime Trilogy Remake. Yeah.
We know E3's canceled and people are doing their own thing, but we didn't know about Geoff Keighley. What was he doing? Because remember, he hosted the Coliseum, where he would be sort of next door to E3 doing interviews and stuff. We get some reveals, nothing too crazy.
Right. He was a staple of E3, right?
Yeah. But he wasn't going. He said he wasn't going, and now E3 is already canceled. So what's Geoff Keighley going to do? All right, around E3 time. Well, why don't he just have his own event? And apparently that's what's happening. He's going to have Summer Game Fest. It's going to be 4 months long from May through June.
Wow. May through September?
August. May through August.
May through August. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Starting now. May through August. Phase 1. He's sort of lined up news from 2K, Activision, Bethesda, CD Projekt Red, Square Enix, Warner Brothers, Xbox, on and on. And he's going to do in-depth interviews with people. We're going to get some game announcements that we didn't know about, some reveals, and certain games will get demos on Steam and maybe Xbox.
Interesting.
So far, that's what we heard. We haven't heard anything about anything from Sony.
I told you, Dan. This is the way to get it out to the fans, right? You give these demo codes. The demos expire after like a week or 2 weeks or whatever you want to do, and then that's it. People get a taste of the game. They lock it down as much as they can, and then they just expire the demo. Right? You got to log in. You have to log into a server. You can make it a time demo too.
You make it a time, just like Resident Evil 2.
Right, exactly. Now, I mean, you may have people like tinkering with the game code and pulling out the hard drive and scraping it for data and whatnot. That is that is a possibility.
That is extreme, and some people will do it, but not everyone's going to do
right.
that.
So I don't think you're going to be able to see like everything, because there's still like some behind closed doors and whatnot, but. You may get a Cyberpunk demo. You may get a new Call of Duty demo, Madden demo, something like. I don't know. I could see some cool stuff shake out from this. Everyone's going to jump on board, and kind of play these games from home if that's what they're going to do. That'd be fantastic. It'd be E3 without all the expenses.
This wasn't surprising. I figured Geoff Keighley would do something like this. Right? He's used to sort of doing his own thing, running his own show.
Right. And he's probably going stir crazy in his house, right?
So I'm looking forward to seeing. I mean, it starts now in May, so I'm looking forward to seeing. Sort of phase 1. I mean, he has a lot. I mean, we talk about. Just think about how bad this is, though.
Yeah.
For the ESRB, right?
Oh yeah.
For the ESA.
Yeah, ESA.
I should say they couldn't get anybody. They couldn't connect anybody, not one company that we know of, to come together to do a digital E3.
Yeah, they're like, for what? 30, 40, 50, 100?
Who knows?
How many?
Everyone. For everyone.
For everyone, right? Oh,
you know what? Let's stick with the E. They're OE. Zero E.
Zero for everyone.
They're E0.
Yeah. That's terrible.
Right?
It's a real bad look. Yeah,
it's a really bad look. Where Geoff Keighley has all these companies. I just named off a few. He has a lot of people that he's collaborating with to bring out their games for a 4-month period from May, June, July, and August.
Yeah, and I feel like this is going to be the thing, right? This will be the official replacement. It's going to be a whole summer long thing. It'll keep. It may not
be a digital going forward. Right, or at least all digital, but yes, I can see this being a replacement.
Yeah, I mean, at least just for like this year. For this year, we have a thing that we'll get some information. It'll be all over the place. It won't be in a week span, But I'm excited. I don't know about you. Like, Keighley.
I'm excited for anything right at this point. I'm home doing nothing.
Right.
So I'm excited.
Right.
So look, E3 again. E3's canceled. We talked about Comic-Con being canceled. We talked about Gamescom being all digital. The first event that was canceled, the first big event was GDC. That was originally canceled. The game developer conference was originally canceled. Then it was delayed until the summer, and now
they did this reschedule.
And now it's officially a digital only event.
Oh wow! I think I think that's the smart move, considering that everybody else is canceling their summer cons and presentations and all that. Yeah. Sad to see, 100%. But I think it's the right move.
No, it is. It is the right move. I mean, I don't have an issue per se. My only concern, or my heart goes out to all the sort of developers who go to GDC sort of to pitch themselves for different jobs.
Oh yeah,
projects.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you mentioned that before, having like the physical connections and saying, hey, let's go for lunch. Let's kind of talk business. Yeah.
Pitching different ideas. I mean, ideas get pitched at GDC, right? It's like, hey, I'm gonna show you a project I'm working on, and you may be a composer, and you're like, you know what? I have like in my head some ideas I could work. I can for your project, and then you just the collaborations. It's hard to do that when it's a digital only event.
Yeah. Totally.
So another event that's just canceled, not rescheduled. Not even digital only, and that's Evo. I forgot about this. Evo usually is over the summer in Vegas. I think it's like in July.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's officially been canceled.
Yeah. Like you may be saying like, well, why couldn't they just do it digital? Like every game's got online play and all that. It's not. Everyone's got to be on the even. Everyone has to be on the same playing field, right? There's like too many. I think there's too many variables involved.
Well, I mean, I kind of want it to happen. And I'll tell you why I want it to happen. I want it to happen because I want some WWE type drama, some soap opera drama.
You're just itching for something to get into.
Where a guy he beats another, where a person beats another person, and another guy says, "Hey, you only beat me because I'm in a rural place in America where the internet's not great, and I have Wi-Fi. You're playing with an Ethernet connection in California."
Yeah, people are gonna be salty. People are gonna be salty if that goes down, right? Yeah.
You gotta, like I had a little bit of lag, and I missed
a couple frames. That's not fair.
And I would have beat you if we were an even kill. I can't wait till next year to bust your ass. Like that's what I want. I want some WWE type drama. So
that'd be kind of fun, yeah. But we're not gonna get any of that. No.
They can have some unsanctioned matches, right? Just for fun. Do an Evo online where anybody can sign up and get their butts handed to them by the experts, and the experts go, obviously they're going to climb the ladder in the tournament, and then when they're facing other people who can play, they're just as good as them, they can have some WWE drama. That's what I want.
I would 100% be down with that, as long as it's not like here is the winner of Evo. It's just kind of all for fun, but you can get everybody back together. Like I think that's kind of a fun idea.
Well, speaking of WWE, we heard about it, that we weren't going to get an actual wrestling simulation game this year for the first time since like 2011, I think 2012.
Oh yeah, they had that one dark year. It was weird.
So I think, but they said they will announce a sort of a replacement, right? Sort of, we will get a WWE game, just not a simulation game, not a realistic sort of one-to-one. And they announced an arcade style WWE 2K Battlegrounds. Coming out in the fall.
Yeah, think
this is over the top action. Think of like WWE arcade, WWF arcade,
sure,
or
Superstars, or like the All Stars game that came out a couple years ago. Yeah, big super deformed characters, super large muscles, super moves, and you can kind of see it in the trailer. You can get an idea of what they're going for with it. It looks cool. I think it's going to be a whole new engine, which is nice. They can get rid of all that old cruft, build something up from the ground up. you throw like, I don't know, 20 or 30 characters in there, and you make it a nice arcade game. Like, I'm in.
Oh no, I'm definitely picking this up.
Yeah.
It looks cool. It looks something like over the top. They didn't announce if it would be coming to the Switch, but I did say, and I've been saying this forever. I said, if you want to have a regular WWE regular simulation game that you put on Xbox and you put in a PlayStation, you do that, and then have a different style game, sort of like this arcade style type of game, Battlegrounds. Put that on the Switch.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Because it has more cartoony graphics. It's probably not going to be that taxing on the Switch.
It fits with the aesthetic better, yeah.
Yeah.
You could do like, four player, 4-on-4 or whatever, or 4v all or whatever, right? Free for all.
So if this comes out to the Switch, I want to pick it up on the Switch. So we talked about all the shows being canceled or going digital only, right? We have to talk about Stadia. What is Stadia going to do? And they had and we had our sort of, I'm going to call it, I'm going to say this was our first, this was the start of E3 season. We got a Stadia Connect.
So that's the name of their little presentation.
Connect.
Yeah, it was like 15, 16 minutes. It was short.
It was short, but it was great because you know why? The mic drop moment, the game that everybody didn't know they wanted to play on Stadia for free, PUBG.
Oh yeah, I know. PUBG not
a game that's been out. Great. A game that's been out that people have been playing since it was in early access. It was nominated for Game of the Year and it wasn't even out yet.
I know.
A game for years. A game that I've played on Xbox.
It's not
20 minutes and said never again.
It's not a taxing game either, so it's not like, the appeal of playing it streaming isn't high, right? I'm pretty sure everybody has a machine that can play PUBG. God, I think you can play it mobile too, so there you go. like I don't know. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they did have some other stuff like Madden was in there, which, I thought was kind of neat.
I mean, the second biggest game, of course, or announcement, I should say, not the game, was they announced that they partnered with EA to have Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Right. Which is like, those are the games, yeah. Not right now.
But soon.
But in the fall. So a game that came out last fall, you will be able to play this fall.
Yeah.
On Stadia.
I mean, I think I needed a lot more of those AAA titles. Like Madden is good, but Madden's out on everything, so it's not, it's not really hard to play that game either.
PUBG is good, but who, why is this a mic drop moment? Having PUBG on Stadia is something that you open the show with, maybe.
Right? Yeah.
Or you just say, oh yeah, guess what? You can play PUBG. They went all out, like a good 3 to 4 minutes out of this 16-minute presentation. I think it was more than 16 minutes, but a good chunk of it at the end went to make a big deal about a game that was nominated for Game of the Year 4 years ago, before it even came out.
Yep. It's a little much.
It's mistakes like this that doesn't get me hyped for Stadia. Listen, why would I even sign up for 2 free months?
Well, you got to try it out. We keep saying we're really just curious to see how it runs, but yeah,
I'm no longer curious.
It's not great. I mean, it's nice to see.
At least Apple Arcade has like Oceanhorn 2, right?
I mean, a timed exclusive, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's time, but you can still only play it there right now.
For the moment, yeah. So,
right? Like, at least have a timed exclusive. Give me a reason to sign up. So
yeah, it's not great, but I mean they're still supporting it, so it's not going away anytime soon. I think they're really trying to make it a thing. But
hopefully one day we'll be like, these are the dark days of Stadia.
Right. Yeah. It finally becomes a viable property, right? Where every new game also comes out on Stadia. They're able to make that happen. So I don't know if we're gonna get there. Yeah.
Well, here it is. Well, you know what? Listen, the one thing they have going for them is, they have relationships. I mean, listen, Ubisoft loves everyone.
Yeah, they do.
Right. If you look at Ubisoft's history, they love everyone. They put out Rayman on the Atari Jaguar.
Yes, they did.
right? So they support new ideas, new platforms.
Yep.
Tell me Valhalla day one is coming out on PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X,
and Stadia,
PC.
Oh yeah,
and
PC.
Stadia. It's not coming out on the Switch. Sorry, folks.
Streaming maybe in Japan, but that's about it.
That's true. And it's coming to Stadia. And once we get that Stadia logo right next to the PS5 logo and the Xbox Series X logo, then we're talking, right? Because now I have a reason. And because don't forget, you still had to buy the game too.
Well, yeah, you do. That's right. You have to spend $60 to get the game.
So, but
one thing they sorry, before we move on to the last story, one thing that was a very interesting note is that when you purchase the game, as long as you're paying for the service, but you can play it for the lifetime of the service, right? Yeah. So that's like interesting, right? Because sometimes games fall off platforms or they lose licenses or this and that. So even though they have a small set of games, they're putting the message out there that you can play it for the lifetime of Stadia. Right. So no matter what,
nobody knows how long that is.
Well, right. I mean, there is that, but we're not going to get like a Scott Pilgrim on the PS3 moment where it's like, Ubisoft lost the license and now we can't put it out anymore, so it's just going to be there in limbo, like it's out of the eShop. So, yeah, I don't know.
That's the problem with the all digital world.
You're right.
Right. We don't really own it, do we?
No.
And that ties into our last story, and that's Nintendo. We're back to Nintendo, but this time we're pivoting and we're talking about the Wii U and 3DS.
Oh, yes.
Because Nintendo has just announced that they will be closing a Wii U and 3DS eShops in 42 countries.
Oh, shoot.
Mostly in like Latin America and the Caribbean. So, if you're in one of these 42 countries, most notably Mexico and Brazil.
Yeah.
They will be shutting down the eShop and like completely. You will not be able to re-download any game that you ever purchased in the last 10 years, on the 3DS or Wii U, right? You won't be able to get any updates for any game. So if you do buy a game that's used, or if you buy a used 3DS or used Wii U and get a game that had an update, you won't be able to access that update.
Right.
It's just gone. This is the scary part of all digital world, because what happens if the PS6 and Xbox Series XX is all digital, right? And then we go to the next version of that, and they say, "Hey guys, sorry, shop shutting down.
Yeah,
you spent all that money, to essentially rent a key, right? Rent a code, just like Stadia. You rent that code. You don't own it. You can't download it and put it to the hard drive."
Well, technically, people always love to make the joke. I'm just kind of renting this beer, right? Because pretty soon the beer's gonna go right through you, and then it's out the door. So I'm just saying, like we don't
own anything. We rent food and beer and video games.
Food and beer and video games, right? Nothing stays forever.
Nothing stays forever.
Yeah. So, well, I think that about does it. That is episode 217 in the books. And we just want to thank again all of our wonderful fans for doing all the wonderful stuff that you do. If you want to interact with us, and we know you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Oh, YouTube and Patreon at Rated G for Gamers. Also, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. Check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there at gamingpodcastalliance.com if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.